Hey everybody. So making this quick, I guess this first part of this video really fast. This is the morning of the meet. I'll be leaving about an hour from now to get there. Waiting last night, that went fine. I mean, you're just weighing in, right? Nothing doesn't really matter. Came in at like 90 kilos, something like that. So I definitely put on some weight over the past few months getting prepped for this. Which is fine. But this morning, man, I don't know how this thing's gonna go. I no idea how this thing is gonna end up going today, because boy, I got about every single like insecurity demon whatever in my head right now. Like everything from like, you didn't program properly, you peaked too early. You should be doing this 2 weeks ago. You would have been ready, but now you sort of peaked too late. To like thoughts of like, the weights at your gym are light. Like they're not actually 45-pound plates that you train with. They're actually like weigh like 43 pounds instead, and they're not calibrated properly and all this stuff. And so the weights today are gonna feel heavier than what you're used to. Like all these thoughts, like every single, like even the smallest thing right now is going through my head. So very nervous. I can barely stomach down my breakfast. But we're gonna go and we're gonna give it a good shot. I mean, ultimately, we'll see what happens here. I'm quite the logical part of my brain that's still there is telling me like, hey, no, we're gonna go and we're gonna kick some butt today. But yeah, I'm definitely going in nervous. So if you see me at all today, like shaking or whatever, if I make these videos leading up to this, that's that's gonna be why. But yeah. Well, let's get into it. It's enough talking. Let's cut now to the Hey guys, so this is future Josh. This is me coming in after the squat attempts here. Did good. I did really good on the squats. I was very happy with them. 440 was what I was aiming for. That was actually gonna be my original starter. Like that was gonna be my original opener. So I went in and made that my final one. So I really can't complain. My prior max was 435, so I went up 5 pounds in the past few weeks. Can't complain. I felt good. Opener, that first time really on just basically doing powerlifting meet, going there, felt very good. I also, so my big fear going into this, I mentioned in very early on in the video, was my fear of the weights not being what I was used to, just because like I said, I train with the plastic weights you see at commercial gyms. Weight was pretty comparable. It actually felt relatively comparable, a little bit more dense, playing with the metal ones here, but otherwise, or the iron ones, but otherwise, it felt good. Just to quickly go over it. So the first attempt you saw, I almost failed out. I got it. I got one red light. The guy who was hosting the event told me I got lucky there. Like I got very lucky. I sort of squeaked one out because I should have probably failed it. My left foot wobbled, like I basically lost my footing. The reason why is I was wearing a different pair of shoes than I normally will wear, because my regular ones felt very tight on my feet, so I decided to switch them up just because my feet were getting very sore during my warm-ups. So I decided to keep them on, try out the first lift. Lost my balance. They're a bit too big. They have a bit more toe room than normal, so I just basically on the outside of my heel, I wobbled a little bit. That's why in the next two you saw me, they basically went just fine. The lifts went fine after that. It was a bit of an adjustment as well with the monolift. I don't train with monoliths. I do just squat racks, so that was interesting to go in today basically with no real monolift experience at all. And just I was able to stabilize and get it in. I've, again, pretty happy first time doing that. So that felt good. 440 on the squat. Let's get on to the bench press now.
Up, up.
All right, so wife Sarah's here joining me. She's been my handler the whole time here, which is awesome. One thing about these meets here is that they have, you know, obviously teams. People coming with these teams have been traveling to this event. I didn't have anybody. I had, you know, basically just my wife here to help me out. She's been amazing at doing this. Yeah, because I had no idea what to expect, and realistically, I probably should have went with a team. I think that's one thing I've kind of learned. One of the big takeaways, I think, it was the idea of, if I'm going to keep doing this going forward here, you got to get a team. You got to get at least people to go with you. Because in all honesty, I'm using a lot of my own judgment here on just the weights and all that. Went in with a bench. As you saw it, hit the first two, which was great. I started a little bit below my normal max there. And in fact, to be honest, my max at the gym has been 350. Just doing it at the gym. A couple weeks ago, I messed up. So a few weeks ago, I ended up, I basically couldn't do it. Basically I was like, oh, am I losing my strength? Did I peak too early in my program? Whatever. I might have. As you saw, I went in, I did 340, which was awesome. But that last attempt, if this was a couple weeks earlier, I probably would have hit it. So I peaked a little bit too early on my bench program. I guess is what it is. I mean, you can't complain too much. 340 was awesome. One big takeaway too, I think, was the idea that my bench is probably my best lift in relation to everything else. There were guys that were like in the 300 pounds at this meet here that were basically benching the same that I was. So me being 200 pounds here, I felt pretty damn good, I guess, some confidence there. So can't really complain. It was fun. I got to work on my triceps. As you saw in the last lift, my triceps basically just couldn't do it. They just couldn't take over. And the second to last one, it was starting to get a little bit questionable as well. So it's something I got to work on basically as far as like, accessory work here is going to get my triceps and building those up, because the weight seemed to move fine off the chest. It was just the tris came to take over, couldn't do it. Fatigue was also playing a little bit of a factor. I was starting to feel a little bit fatigued, and yeah, I think going into the deadlifts now, I'm going to be like reeling here. But we'll see what happens. Hey everyone. So the meet's over. This is future Josh here coming at you. Meet's over. Deadlifts are done. As you saw, I hit all of them. I hit every single deadlift. I hit every single attempt, which was awesome. So only one red basically. I only bombed out on one lift basically the whole day, which is great. Going in, I was feeling very, very fatigued. I mentioned that in the video. So first one felt good. First one basically was very, very easy. My max at the gym basically has been like 455. Like I've been pulling that, and so I mentioned before that going into this meet here, I haven't trained deadlift in 4 months. I substituted that out for extra squat days. I wanted my squat to be really, really heavy. I didn't really care too much about the deadlift, what was going to happen, in part because a buddy of mine at the gym had just told me, hey, listen, when you go to the meet here, your deadlift is going to be the hardest one. You're going to be most fatigued. Pick a weight that's lower than what you normally do here at the gym, and just kind of be happy with it, he was saying. He said it's very, very tough. He said the bars don't bend. Like they're very, very sturdy. They don't bend like they do at the gym as well. The weight's going to feel different. So I kind of went in with the mentality of, all right, I'm just going to go in with a good squat then, and I'll just do whatever I do with the deadlift. So probably max is 455. I obviously surpassed that now with the last lift. To be honest, if there's one disappointment, this is the disappointment right now, was that last one. I should have went more. That last one moved amazing. Like I was really impressed with that last one. I almost feel like it moved better than the first two, to be honest, even though the weight was going up. I said before when I was doing this that I'd said before that when I did this lift, I was going to go into the last one, that this was it. I told my wife, I was like, honey, the second one, after the second one, I was like, I'm done. I feel like all my adrenaline zapped out of me on that second lift. I felt everything coming out of me. I don't know what to tell you. I just felt it all coming out. So when I went to the third one, I picked a weight basically. After the second one, I just picked a weight that was a little bit more. Just to, I think it was like 10 pounds more or something like that. That was it. I didn't want to go very heavy. Actually, I don't think it was even 10, was it? I don't know. But anyways, I picked a weight that was not particularly heavy at all in relation to that. Just it was a very, very small jump because I thought I wasn't even going to hit it. Then what happened was right when I basically went to the chalk bowl, put the chalk on, I felt like all my energy was just zapped. And there was they actually had the not my smelling salts, but someone else's smelling salts. They were doing for the meat, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna use these here rather than get my own out. And so inhaled them. I don't know what the hell were in these smelling salts, but my adrenaline just freaking spiked. Like it was like for a minute, it was like I hadn't lifted all day. Like I felt so freaking fresh when I went in there, played it, and it was awesome. So I felt it. It was great. It felt fantastic. Pulled the weight, and I was like, all right, boom. Perfect. So a little disappointed I didn't pick heavier. I could have went really, really heavier than what I did in that last one there. Moved great, which was awesome, but in retrospect, I could have made it a bit heavier. I could have pushed myself a little bit more in that one. If I had known how I was going to feel going into it, I would have picked a much heavier weight. I would have maybe gone closer to 500 pounds because that one just felt so smooth, that last one. Overall, can't complain though. I mean, first meet, I did everything went well, and I gotta say, for most of this meet, I was like, okay, I'm not doing this again. I was like, I'm probably not gonna do this again for a while. Maybe like next year I'll do it. My adrenaline's been like zapped out of me here at this point. I was feeling it, and after that last lift, when people were like congratulating, clapping and all that stuff, I was like, okay, that very last one, I was like, okay, we're doing another one of these. We're gonna do one of these at some point. I don't know when, but we're gonna do another one. That was that feeling at the very end of getting that last one. That was awesome. I want to feel that again. So that did great. With that, I'm going to sign off here. If you watched this whole thing, thank you so much. I didn't want to make this video too long, but I appreciate that. Any kind of final takeaways? Big thing is going to be I got to figure out what I want to do next with this. Do I want to prep for the meet soon? Do I want to wait a while? And if I do, how am I going to start training? Am I going to, potentially, I've been doing this on my own here the whole time. So am I going to look at potentially going to another gym? Am I going to go to maybe some sort of team thing or something like that? It's something to think about. This has been a hobby. This is something that I do much like when you guys see my chess videos here. It's more of like a distraction from writing. It's more of like just some alternative fun thing, but I'm not at the keyboard writing. So it comes down to me kind of figuring out what I want to do, how serious do I want to start taking this, etc. So it's going to be a little bit of time in kind of reflection on that, but I'm definitely doing other ways at some point. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.